Hi, my name is Carolyn Molnar, and I've created a series of clips with my friend T, who had a lot of questions about the spirit world. The answers are based on my work as a psychic medium for over 30 years. Now, some of the things that I will say you may not agree with, so discard that and enjoy the rest. This is for information only, so I hope you sit back, relax, and enjoy. Thanks for watching.
Does the condition of the body at death affect the transition into spirit?
They will transition. It's more about what happens on the other side, not during the transition, but when they get there. The best way to describe it is if somebody has had an illness for a long time, their energy level lowers because they're not well. When they progress into the spirit world through their transition, they will go away to a place where they can bring their energy up. How that translates into my work is that sometimes I can't reach them. So the first question I'll ask is, were they sick for a long time? And if the answer is yes, then I know that they're unavailable temporarily until they get their energy right. Everybody can transition, regardless of what you've done on the planet. There are different levels of transition. Most of us are a 3 or a 4. There are 7 levels in what people call heaven. Those who are having a spirit-fulfilled life and are progressing, they will go to the level that they were prior or better. The higher up you go in the numbers, the more refined your energy is. However, the people who have committed heinous crimes and left the planet in a worse place, they don't have the same opportunities. They will not be a 3 or a 4, and they will go to places where they are more suited to the energy that they've created for themselves. Now, you remember the movie Ghost. Okay, remember when initially he said, no, I'm not going? There was a light that came down. All right, so he decided he's not going to transition, because that's what it's like. You go up into a light, and then you meet all your loved ones. It's really wonderful. It's wondrous. He decided that he had something he had to do, so he stayed put. And in the end, when he got what he wanted done, then when the light showed again, he said goodbye, and he went up into the light, so he became a spirit. Ghosts are the ones that stay here, and they do it because they want to, not because they have to. It's not a sentence. It's a desire. So the ones that love their homes, I remember Mrs. McPherson. I lived in Cape Breton for 8 years, and we cohabitated with a ghost. She was the original owner, and it was her home, and we were living with her. She wasn't living with us. And we could hear her on the cook stove every once in a while. We tore that place from stem to stern. It was a century home, and it was needing a lot of work. So we tore it right down to the rafters and built it back up with 2x4s and plywood and gibrock and all that stuff that's on the wall. It wasn't finished, but we were in the master bedroom going to bed, and all of a sudden we heard 3 very loud stamps, and it was her. She was mad. And I sat bolt straight up in bed, and I said, Mrs. McPherson, if you don't let us fix your house, it's going to fall down. You know, she never bothered us again. She understood. And we cohabitated with her. Yeah. And, you know, she wasn't there to hurt us. She just wanted her space. And I believe she's still there. And I believe that the infinite, whatever you want to call that energy, loves us so much that will give us the opportunity to make our own choice through free will. So if we decide that we want to stay here, or we love our castle and we want to stay there, fine. And when you're ready, we'll help you. I did transition a young boy, and I believe I said this on another segment, but I want to reiterate that he was a ghost living in a beautiful home in the Queensway area. a friend of mine called me over and said, I just don't feel right. And I went downstairs and I went into this kind of undone closet. It wasn't fixed, and I ran out of it, and I thought, wait a minute, what am I doing running out of a closet? This is crazy. And then I felt this young energy and realized, long story short, thought his mother would be mad at him, because he was found, because his mother was the maid in the house, and he shouldn't have been in the house, but he was sick. And then he lost his shoe on top of that. So his mom would have been mad about him being exposed and him losing his shoe. And I, in my own mind, through my mental abilities, my mental mediumship is what you call it, I spoke with him, called in his guides, called in my guides, and coaxed the mother, who's already in the spirit world, to call her son. And he was arguing with her and saying, Mommy, I don't have my shoe. And she kept saying, it's okay, honey, just come, we'll find another shoe. So about 5 minutes later, he was in the spirit world. I didn't say anything. I just came out of the area, and I looked at my friend, and she said, it feels different. I said, well, give it 2 weeks and tell me what you think. And 2 weeks later, she called me and she said, you know what, there's no more noises, no more bumps and knocks and weird things happening. There's none of that anymore. I thought, well, okay, he's gone to spirit. His free will decided that that's where he wanted to be. He found his mom and he was happy. So that's called rescue mediumship. I don't do that often, but I did it because he was so sweet. He was such a nice boy, and he wanted his mommy.